Every movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the DashCam. My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. Brought to you by Penn Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This is Secret Midlife. Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in a car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text APPLY NOW to 88909 right now to get started. That's APPLY NOW to 88909. Auto financing the easy way. Text APPLY NOW to 88909.
Did you know half of all cats in the United States don't see a vet on a regular basis? Hi, I'm Kat Dennings, and I love cats. Like, really, really love them. Seriously. That's why I'm here to ask you to take your cat to the vet each and every year. I'm working with Royal Canin and Orphan Kitten Club in their program, Mighty Cats, the first grant program in the world to protect and care for newborn kittens. So the Take Your Cat to the Vet initiative, which encourages cat owners across the country to schedule annual vet visits. Since it's tricky to decode our cat's behavior, it is super important to collaborate with your veterinarian to uncover any potential illnesses and learn the signs that something could be wrong. As pet owners, it is our responsibility to make sure cats of all ages have a chance to live a full and happy life by providing the care they need and deserve. Visit orphankittenclub.org/mightycats to learn more.
Welcome back to the Matt Hall Show. I'm sure you recall a few weeks ago when there was great panic across the land because Republicans couldn't agree on who to appoint as the new Speaker of the House. And this was a source of tremendous heartache and fear and misery in the population. And I mean specifically the population of corporate media offices in D.C. Nobody else really gave the slightest damn about any of this, nor should they have cared about it. But for those, particularly on the right, who are concerned that, not handing the speakership over to Kevin McCarthy automatically, concerned that if we didn't just give it to him, that it would somehow have disastrous effects. I think those people should check out what Kevin McCarthy, now the Speaker of the House, has been doing over the last several days. One of his first acts as Speaker of the House was to kick Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff off of the House Intelligence Committee, which is a very good thing. The fact that he's doing these good things is not evidence that we shouldn't have resisted his speakership, but rather it's evidence that it's a very good thing we did. Because it's clear that McCarthy's resistance from the base has resonated with them. And we do have some power and control here, but we have to use it. And even if it didn't provoke an authentic conversion experience for Kevin McCarthy, it at least acts like something other than an establishment shield, right? And that's just as good as far as I'm concerned. Frankly, I don't care if these people need it or not. I don't care. I don't care what they actually think in their heart. I don't care about any of it. It doesn't make any difference to me. Who cares about it? this really fantastic exchange with the DC journalist who challenged him on it. And again, what you're about to hear from him, you would not have heard had we not challenged him. If the base had not challenged him, you wouldn't hear. And we haven't heard anything like this from Kevin McCarthy until now. That's not a coincidence. But we'll watch a little bit of this exchange.
He's got elected by his district. So, okay, let me be very clear and respectful to you. You ask me a question. When I answer it, it's the answer to your question. You don't get to determine whether I answer your question. Okay? In all respect. Thank you. No, let's answer her question. You just raised the question. I'm going to be very clear with you. The Intel Committee is different. You know why? Because what happens in the Intel Committee, you don't know. What happens in the Intel Committee about the secrets that are going on in the world, other members of Congress don't know. What did Adam Schiff do as the chairman of the Intel Committee? What Adam Schiff did, use his power as a chairman and lie to the American public. Even the Inspector General said it. When Devin Nunes put out a memo, he said it was false. When we had a laptop, he used it before an election to be politic and say that it was false, said it was the Russians. When he knew different, when he knew the Intel, he talked to John Radcliffe, DNI. He came out ahead of time and said there's no intel to prove that, and he used his position as chairman, knowing he has information the rest of America does not, and lied to the American public. When a whistleblower came forward, he said he did not know the individual, even though his staff had met with him and set it up. So no, he does not have a right to sit on that. But I will not be like Democrats that play politics with these, where they removed Republicans from committees and all.
So here, Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, good, yeah. And then he goes on to talk about Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell was involved in a romantic affair with a Chinese spy. So, yeah, should he be on the Intelligence Committee? I mean, he's involved in a romantic affair with a Chinese spy. He also has chronic flatulence. So those are two good reasons why the other people on the committee haven't been there for really both of those reasons. And that's the point to Kevin McCarthy. Well, he didn't bring up the flatulence. I wish he had. That's the only criticism I have of this moment with Kevin McCarthy. A moment that, once again, I do not believe he would have if he had challenged him going in. Now, Swalwell, for his part, is very upset about not getting his committee assignment. It's another one of those things, right? The DC shows how terminally out of touch they are with any normal American. That they think we care about, like they can come to us with a sob story about not getting a committee assignment, and they think that we'll care about that. They think there's anyone in the country who's sitting around going, I really feel bad for Eric Swalwell not getting his committee assignment. So he's addressing the media about it and holding back tears. He's very upset.
This is purely about the cost is not only removing us from the committee. On the intelligence, the cost is not only shattering the most precious glassware in the cabinet committee that's always been bipartisan. The cost are the death threats that Ms. Omar, myself, Mr. Schiff keep getting because Mr. McCarthy continues to aim or project these smears against us. Even though we have said publicly these smears are bringing death threats, he continues to do it, which makes us believe that there's an intent behind it. But we will not be quiet. We're not going away. I think you'll regret giving all three of us more time on our hands.
No one would take him seriously enough to actually make a death threat. He's not a serious enough figure in politics to warrant that to begin with. But also, he wants us to believe that people are making death threats because of him not being appointed to the House Intelligence Committee. No one is even aware of that or cares. And the kinds of people who would send random angry death threats to politicians, these are not the kinds of people who are paying attention to what the committee assignments are. So that's all very good stuff. Next up on our Daily Cancellation, we will be rebutting a YouTuber who responded to my take on executing drug dealers. Stay tuned.
skills in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm in the medical field. I think when you start out these things, everything from the advertisement sounds so good that you're psyched up for it to work. It's working. Anyway, I'm happy.
It's made a big difference. It's just one of the greatest products, and it's just so simple, and it works.
Balance of Nature is a fantastic product. You can tell it's real. You can taste it. And it gives you really good energy, and it's just right up there with rent, electric cable, and things that you have to have. I'm not cutting Balance of Nature off. No, I love it.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature right now. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com for more information or to place your order. Shipping is always free. And don't forget to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code KSFO. One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. The name begins with a G, and there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that G. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups, and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability, so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUSboost.com. Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Place with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor. Superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, straight from the grill and your taste buds. When you visit the website and average slices do, they chose AmericanEagle.com to take their food sites to the next level. With dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they have two challenges, improve their brand presence and messaging and reduce the positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits, client experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result, an integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to kansascitysteaks.com for website design, development, online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WebNow1. That's 877-WebNow1. Thanks for tuning in to the Matt Walsh Show. Earlier this week, we discussed our pathetic, impotent criminal justice system, which has utterly failed to maintain law and order in our communities. It's a justice system that seems to be uninterested in justice. And I proposed, as you recall, that we take off the kid gloves and start dealing harshly with criminals, predators, those who've turned our cities into reeking, zombified wastelands. In fact, I advocated that we adopt some of Singapore's strategies in this regard, strategies that have helped to make Singapore one of the safest and cleanest places in the world, while our cities look like massive drug-infested garbage dumps. Specifically, I believe that we, like Singapore, should adopt corporal punishment for thieves and robbers and vandals and the like. And, we used to use corporal punishment on kids in school. Now we've decided that it's too mean to even use on multiply convicted felons, and I find that attitude absurd and weak. The criminals also find our justice system absurd and weak, which is why they have no respect for it, no fear of breaking its laws. And I also believe that we, like Singapore and like Donald Trump has suggested for this country, we ought to expand our capital punishment regime to include drug traffickers. Those who distribute and sell mass amounts of poison, slowly killing thousands of people every year, ought to face the ultimate penalty. Nearly every murderer who has ever been executed in the United States inflicted less damage and killed fewer people than the most prolific drug traffickers. There's no reason why drug traffickers should get a more lenient sentence. Indeed, there's no reason why the death penalty should be reserved only for those who directly kill people. Sometimes the most heinous kinds of predators have other ways of preying upon their fellow human beings. Child rapists would be another. With our ridiculous laws as they stand in most states, You can't execute a child rapist unless they're also guilty of murder. As if the crime of child rape itself doesn't warrant. I mean, they deserve to die for their crimes, whether they directly kill their victims or not. This is the case I made, and I explain my logic, I think, in extensive detail. Still, it has proved to be, not surprisingly, controversial. People on both sides of the political divide are deeply scandalized by my argument. Twitter has been basically unusable for me over the past few days. Well, it's always basically unusable, but especially over the past few days because my entire feed is just people screaming at me for wanting to punish criminals. Now, look, it's okay if you disagree with me. I will give you permission until my theocratic fascist regime officially begins. Anyway, for now, you do have permission to disagree with me. You're wrong, but that's okay. You can be wrong. My problem is not that people simply disagree with my proposal, but that they treat the mere notion of harsher penalties for criminals as somehow absurd on its face. They recoil at the suggestion that those who traffic substances that kill thousands every year should be given the same punishment that we already give to other kinds of murderers. They scream out in horror at the very idea that perhaps we should sentence robbers and thieves to corporal punishment rather than letting them hang out in prison for a few months and then releasing them right back into the community with no additional penalty. You know, this is the issue. You're not a stupid person for listening to my argument, finding it unpersuasive, and making a counter-argument. That's fine. But you are, frankly, pretty damn stupid if my argument is so shocking to you that you can barely articulate a response, or if you think it's so unthinkably extreme that it isn't necessary to articulate a response. That kind of reaction to a perfectly reasonable suggestion, one with a massive amount of historical precedent, shows a lack of thought on your part and an inability to even entertain any challenge to modern orthodoxy. Because that's really the problem, right? Is that what I'm saying flies in the face of our kind of generally accepted notions of how to deal with criminals. And for that reason alone, many people are upset by it. And they can't explain really why. It just doesn't comport with what they've been told and sort of the general atmosphere that they live in. Speaking of people who can barely articulate a response, that brings us to YouTuber Kyle Kulinski, who's the owner of the Secular Talk channel on YouTube. And like most YouTubers on the left, every so often Kyle likes to use my name to drive engagement. And every so often I will respond because, well, I can't help but take the bait. So yesterday, Kyle put out a video titled Matt Walsh's Fascist Mask Slips on Twitter. And he's part of the mob, terribly upset about my comments, though he, like the rest of them, can't quite explain why. Now, most of Kyle's video consists of him calling me stupid and authoritarian while making incredulous facial expressions. Not really a counter-argument, not much to respond to. But I did want to address one part of it, and it's this part. Listen.
Singapore is able to have nice things, in part because they execute drug dealers by hanging and arrest even petty vandals and thieves and beat them with a cane until they bleed. We don't have nice things because we aren't